How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the STD Podcast. Today we are going to be doing a technique analysis. So we had some people submit their technique videos to the drive that I put up on my story, and we're just going to be going through and reviewing them. Some people did provide some context to their exercises, not a lot really. So we're just going to do our best job to provide relevant suggestions, and that's that. So how you guys doing?
Give me a T, give me an E, give me a C, because we're doing technique. Let's go, technique. Well,
I just want to say, I realized that Shimmy put us back on topic when we were bullshitting before we hit record. We're the STD Podcast. The AVN Awards are on topic.
Okay.
Our whole conversation
Guys,
prior to this is
listeners, I want to go. If anybody has a plug or anyone knows anyone in the space, I want to go. DM me, email me, send Hedwig the Owl to my place.
Is it an invite only? Like you can't just buy tickets?
No, of course it's not. But maybe somebody has the hookup.
Yeah. Good thinking
there. Guys, the STD Podcast will have a booth. We'll be handing out rubbers and t-shirts. Yes, we will.
Branded rubbers and t-shirts.
That's amazing.
We should if we don't have shirts, we will have shirts by then, but we will definitely be wearing this STD gear.
By the way, that is so funny. This is like a fitness, nutrition, whatever podcast. Imagine like we ended up actually going there. Like, you think you'd see us at the Arnold? No, we're going to the AVNs. Where we want to be.
I'll bring my setup. We'll do some impromptu interviews. It'll be great.
That's amazing.
Dylan, there's so many levels of awesome to that. You don't get it.
It's got my little lab.
We should record a podcast there.
Live at the AVNs.
Perfect for interviewing. Live at the AVNs. That'd be so great.
That is so good, guys. That is so funny.
Oh man, that'll make for some interesting conversations for sure. I'm sure there's a lot of people who work out though, so we could have a lot of relevant discussions. It'd be really interesting. Let's do it.
If I could become the coach to all the porn stars, I'm fucking out of here.
Bro, that's an untapped market right there.
I've been saying that, by the way, for about 4 years. That market, I'm in there. Goodbye.
I mean, imagine like same as like celebrity training. There's so many people who probably just do suboptimal shit.
Oh, just
for sure. And these people are way better actresses anyway.
All right, I'm going to share my screen now. Just up to. Okay. Let's get you guys over here. Okay, so let's do the ones who submitted their stuff first. So we have Gal. Hi, Dylan. I uploaded my heel elevated Smith squats for quads. This video is from a deload, so technique is good, but I do struggle keeping tension on the quads on the concentric when it gets tough. My hips, are shooting up sometimes. This is our first video here.
I mean, looks pretty good so far. Shit. Yeah, I mean, this looks pretty damn good, guys.
Yeah, I don't
have anything so far.
Think it breaks down at the very end, but
yeah, he's got his chest up the whole way, at least so far. He said his heels were lifting though. Let's see. Look at his heels.
I mean, I'm not obviously his cardiovascular system, but I wouldn't have taken the breather that early. He didn't look like he needed one. I would have kept going.
I can see the little bit of heel lift, but
yeah, I can too.
Not buying it. That shit is perfect. He's paralysis by analysis, in my opinion.
I think this looks great.
Not buying it. Gal, you're being annoying. You're great.
If you're to be nitpicky, just the breather. Probably didn't need that long of a breather.
If I was to be nitpicky, tell him to send me a set that's actually hard and not a deload where I can't see any problems at all.
I think
Well,
if he just had something more stable than plates, that would fix itself.
Yeah, Trevor, you have some wedges that you use that are pretty low cost, right? On Amazon.
So there's we can get prime wedges, Versalifts, whatever.
Versalifts in your shoes. You can get
they're more stable than the plates. The plates are a bit unstable, and that will pitch you forward a little bit more. But these look amazing.
So I agree, but also moderate pushback. You adapt. So if he's using plates week to week, he'll be fine because he's so used to doing it. So it is like not as stable as what Trevor's talking about. But if you constantly do plates, then by the time you get to weight that's actually heavy, you're so used to it, you're good.
Yeah. Let's just say that heel elevation does persist, especially if you have more load training closer to failure. You can try putting your feet out a little bit wider, driving your knees out a little bit wider, and then sometimes actually changing the width of your stance.
Yeah, I mean, I have some other critiques that I think would benefit him. So if his socks were a little bit higher, they wouldn't draw so much attention to his like smaller calves. This is a technique that all of us in the business use. So it's a really ballsy move to go under ankle socks when you don't have huge calves, and really throws off your proportions and such. So if he could get socks that are just a little bit higher over the ankle, maybe not necessarily mid calf, but like a little bit higher, it will make his legs look a little bit better.
Yeah, high tops, I like Vans. Converse work well too.
Yeah, I mean, he's got the high shorts, so that works for him. I'd also go long sleeve or 3/4 sleeve shirt. That also matters in conjunction with the high shorts.
3/4 sleeve, I feel like makes me look smaller, personally.
It depends on
there is nothing on earth that makes you look small.
Yeah, you're a tank, man.
Yeah.
All right, next one.
Okay. Alexis, submitted my
I think this is Jorge's ex-client.
Oh, really? Submitted my SLDL. Alexis Gomez is the name, I think.
Yep.
Submitted my SLDL, trying to target the hamstrings. I think the bar slightly drifts away from my body, and wondering if they can be an issue in the future, if that can be an issue in the future, and obviously any constructive criticism or ways I can improve the exercise are welcome. Well, you've come to the right place, Alexis. Oh, this was in Team Full Run, wasn't it?
Okay, cool. Yeah. So the issues that he or the issues that I see are very common. What he's doing. So Alexis, what you're doing currently as this video runs, you're not really hinging, sir. You're bending down.
Yep, and you're just bending over.
Yeah. So the lowering of the weight should not be a function of reaching with your back, but it should be a function of hips pushing back, hips pushing to the back wall. And that in turn, while keeping straight arms and a tight upper body, will in effect lower the bar to the floor.
Yeah.
So the bar is drifting in front of you because you're not actually pushing your hips back. You are just reaching down. So it will actually hurt you in the future when you get closer to failure, because heads will roll and your back will round.
Yeah. So back's already rounding a little bit.
Correct. So few tips for you here. Dylan, can you actually put this in 0.75 speed?
Yeah, slow it down. Let me see.
Yeah, go there. Settings. Playback speed.
Damn it. Okay.
He's working with a monster. Go 0.75 and start it over. Just easier that way. So a few things. Bend your knees a little bit more. Keep the bar closer to your body, and start by pushing your hips to the back wall, and continue to push your hips to the back wall as you kind of get lower. And when you feel that your lower back is about to round, stop. You may not be able to actually touch the floor, but that's okay too.
Yeah, there's this thing, and I see it, people like trying to do deficit stiff-legged deadlifts all the time too. It's like the range of motion isn't coming from your hamstrings at that point, though. More range of motion isn't better. Just more movement of the bar isn't necessarily better.
Yes.
You want more range of motion from your hamstrings. But in this case, as you get lower, you're kind of rounding your back, you're letting the bar drift away from you. Because again, you're not shifting your hips back and properly hinging.
Yeah. So keep the bar closer, bend your knees a bit more, and push your hips back. Bending your knees a bit more, pushing your hips back, and keeping your chest up will fix everything. In this case.
Small tip, but put pressure on the outside and back of your feet.
Yeah,
it will help hinging backward a little bit more. A lot of people, if they try to keep a lot of front foot pressure, which a lot of people will try to do, will end up just bending over like this. Shift all of your weight back and put that pressure in the back and the sides of your feet, and it will help you shift your hips backward.
Yeah, Alexis, and if you want to know what that feels like in real time, don't do this for all your reps. You can do it on warm-ups, do it for a few. When you're hinging back, lift your toes up. Yep. Don't do this for all your reps, but you can do it here and there, and you'll really feel like a serious force going backwards. That's sort of what you want to be feeling, but with a flat foot. But you can always sort of check yourself and lift your toes up for some of your reps. All right, next one.
I got nothing to add. Okay, so now we have
John E. I think he's he
John
follows
Elber.
me. He's a really nice lad.
He's a good dude.
He follows you too?
Yep.
Nice.
Yeah, I think me as well. He's in the forum for him.
Is he? All right, so you're using a shit leg press, so it's not your fault.
Yeah, that first thing.
We've all seen this leg press. We all know it sucks. Techno Gym can go to hell. We know.
So, do you guys know if that seat goes back any further?
I think this is as far as it goes back is what it looks like.
Yeah. I actually don't think that you can rig this leg press because of the way that it's made. Like if you
there's a few things you can do.
Oh, you can? All right, so I'm going to see myself out on this one, John, because you're doing your best with just a bad machine.
Yeah. Yeah, so one, it looks like you have very long femurs on top of a leg press that is not designed to target your quads well. This leg press, the squat presses are generally not designed to target your quads well. They're generally more of like a hip press. You can make this a little bit better. Dylan, would you pause this as he gets to the bottom?
Yep.
So if you look at this position, if you look at the position of where the platform and your feet are relative to your hips, you see that it's almost like you are sitting back to squat open.
Yeah.
Instead of sitting down. So put some plates or a pad or something, not necessarily behind your back, although that might help, but to sit on, to elevate your hips more, so that as your feet are on the bottom of the platform, your feet and the bottom of the platform is more in line with your hips. This will allow you to drive your knees forward and have a more forward knee flexion versus just a very heavy hip flexion, hip flexion leg press.
Yep. He's got like an inch too. If he can drop without his heels elevating, drop his feet, that can also help a little bit.
Yeah, that'll help a little bit too, but it's still, there's a lot of space on these kind of machines, the way they align. It's generally going to be better if you sit higher up on the back pad, so your butt is not actually going to be in the seat necessarily. You can use pads to align it better, but you want your hips more in line with where that pad is at, where that platform is, instead of having it be so high. It's almost like you're doing like a 45-degree leg press, but with your feet really high up on the platform because of the angles it creates.
Yeah. Otherwise, pretty good.
Next one.
I see that as a very common thing when people are like Smith squatting too, is like they'll put their feet very far forward and not get a lot of knee flexion.
Yeah, that is a common thing. People will put their feet too far forward on. They'll take that cue of like, oh, you place your feet a little bit further forward than normal, and they'll just take that too far.
Yeah, I've been watching people more recently, and like everybody I see Smith squatting does that, at least at my gym.
So I think I've seen this video already. I think he sent it to me. Unless he's about to do good mornings.
I think he is.
Okay.
Good mornings.
I haven't seen this yet.
It would load.
Guys, I upgraded my internet, so don't blame me. You've noticed it's been better, right?
It has been better.
Tell you the thing about good mornings is I find anytime someone sends me their good morning technique, unless it's clearly egregiously bad, it's so often a question of mind muscle connection because so many times good mornings perceptibly look fine, but they don't feel right. And conversely, so many times I might see a good morning that I'm like, do you really feel that? And they're like, dude, my hamstrings are sore for 3 days. So as I look at this, John and fellas, I don't really see a lot of issues with this if he's feeling it in his hamstrings. If he's feeling it in his hamstrings, I could say he's going down low, he's controlling the weight, he's pausing. Great. If he says he's not feeling it in his hamstrings, I could say he might be going down too low. I could see his lower back is subtly rounding and it's being covered by the lower back by the belt.
Well,
It looks like he's bracing too hard. It's like such a 6 of 1, half a dozen, right? Like I have to have a conversation around this good morning. What do you guys think?
I would agree. So, but I am going to still answer this. I'm going to give some feedback, and I'm going to put the caveat: if you are not feeling this super great in your hamstrings, then use this feedback. If you're feeling it, like if it's smashing your hamstrings to bits, have at it with what you're doing. But Shemi already mentioned you have a subtle amount of low back rounding at the very end. I think this is just a little bit too low for you. Now, obviously, this comes with the issue of, well, if you take the safeties up a notch, well, then it's too high. And this is kind of an annoying thing. What I end up doing most of the time is I will have the safeties set at a spot that would be too high normally, and then I will stand on like a very thin mat or a bumper plate or something that puts me right at that perfect spot. So you kind of meet the middle difference there, because it's only in that last little bit that you're starting to get some subtle rounding. But
yeah.
If you would pause at the bottom, Dylan, there's something I want to point out.
Yep.
I want to point this out for Alexis. Notice how when he does this, his weight shifts back on his feet and his hips
I did notice that, yeah.
backwards. That's what we were talking about.
Yeah, you can see his foot.
Yeah, you can see his foot, his toe is elevating just a little bit because he's really trying to shift his weight backwards and shift his hips back behind him.
Yeah.
I've got some more. Go, Dylan. I'm sorry because I talked already.
No, you're good. I was just gonna say that, yeah, like you could try to emphasize the tummy out cue a little bit too. Like I generally like to reset at the top, and you see Mike really over exaggerates this movement. He brings his chest up, tummy out. You can try to exaggerate that. Some people have a little bit limited mobility and aren't able to do so. But if you put yourself in a slightly lordotic posture, which is your back overly arched slightly, it ensures that this is less likely to occur with the safeties being set at an appropriate height for your mobility.
I find that when that people bringing let this keep running. People bringing the bar to safeties is not for everyone, because a lot of people just bring the bar to the safety, but then they don't remain intact with the bar, and they actually end up remaining or losing tightness. As you can kind of see here, that he's tapping and there's like a subtle relaxation.
Yeah.
As evidenced by sort of his as the set progresses, there's like a clink in his lower back where like it'll be position, relax, and then it'll go up again. But that subtle losing of tightness can actually yield discomfort in the hamstrings if you do that over time, especially a lot closer to failure. So I know that Mike and Jared have certainly popularized bringing, the bar to pins, Smith machine to pins. But I think a lot of people would probably do themselves a service to at least try to do good mornings free weight without pins, because doing so would require you to remain as tight as possible in the most stretched position. And I think that would be beneficial for a lot of people. For a lot of people, no. For a lot of people, you can bring the bar to pins, to safeties, and pause there, remain tight, and come back up. But a lot of people can't do that. And even if they try their darndest and come down slow, when they bring the bar to the pins, they do relax. And then they do come up again. By the way, this was me, guys. I've been very vocal about this. If you follow me, I've taken a journey with Good Mornings. I've changed my techniques, 6 ways to Sunday. And I found that when I would bring the bar to pins, whether it be with spin machine or free weight, no matter how slow my eccentric was or how much I tried, there would be even some element of relaxation at the pin and me coming back up. And that was annoying. And now I don't do that. And I just Smith machine good morning or do regular good mornings as far down as I can remain tight. And then I pause in the most stretched position in air. So I have to remain tight in that bottom and then I come back up. And I find that that works best for me. That's not for everyone, but it is for some people.
Yeah, no, exact same experience with myself. I think like Trevor was helping me with my technique in when we met in Vegas, and I think also doing more machine-based work helped me realize this. Between varying between machine work and like a free bar with the pins, I was able to notice that that was something that was occurring, and I just felt way better when I would come down to as far as I could while maintaining stretch in my hamstrings and pause. Felt way better. And a lot of the time it was trying to bring the bar to the safeties, right? And it's kind of like an arbitrary thing, especially like Trevor had mentioned, like there's a gap between heights. So like if you drop it down one, that might be past your ability, and you're just trying to get it down, you'll lose tension at the bottom there. So yeah, I've had the exact same experience, and I prefer having either a machine or like a Smith machine and pausing, because I think the rationale from like Mike and Jared is like standardization, right? Is like you have a set height, but if you're coming down to what your mobility allows each rep and pausing, there's not going to be a whole lot of variance.
Yeah, and honestly, here's what I do. I set the pins literally right under where I can reach, and
as an actual safety.
As an actual safety, exactly. And I pause right off of them. And I can also use that for standardization because I know I'm, whatever, this much off of the pins.
Makes sense.
So I can watch, I can get it there, I can hold, I can come up.
Yeah. Yeah, I have a Smith machine good mornings tomorrow, Trevor, for your programming. So I'm excited to do those.
I actually just swapped good mornings out. I've been doing good mornings for months and months and months, and just recently switched back.
Same. I'm switching mine out to stiff-legged deadlifts. It's going to be amazing. I'm going to have to do one set. It's going to be wonderful.
They feel pretty amazing. Although after today, it felt pretty awful.
Oh shit! If this person is doing T-bar rows, I know where this motherfucker got that from. Hello, nice to meet ya.
I like the purple.
That's cross. Right. I'm claiming him, guys. It's not bad. It's not. Okay. I need to bifurcate my critique, okay? Critique number one, you're good. Critique number one, there's nothing wrong here. It's pretty okay. It really is. Critique number two, getting deeper here. Take as much advantage of a machine like this as you can. Hinge back more. Reach all the way down. You can clearly do it unless you're hiding that rounding back in the sweater. I know the move. We've all done the move. So you're not gonna get me, friend. I know. But if you're not doing that, hinge back more and reach all the way to the floor and stop moving your head turning left. This is not Zoolander. Just keep your head where it is. That's all I got. I don't think you're using straps. I don't see them. You should be using straps. Yeah. But if you just recorded this for the sake of the video, then fine. But you should be using straps. Yes, strapping up on this machine is weird for sure.
Yeah, it's pain in the ass for sure.
Do it anyway. But I think that you're pretty okay. Besides what I told you. And what I told you is nitpicking.
If he hinges, he will be able to Well, yeah, because
Yeah,
so
if
it
he
looks like
pushes
he's
his ass back a little bit more,
right,
he'll
right.
be able to
Be
reach
able to get
down
more
more.
stretch. Yeah, yeah.
Correct.
Agreed. And this is a T-bar is a bit of a unique machine for back training in that it does have a strength curve that actually gets a slightly heavier at the bottom.
Yeah.
So like what Shimmy said, to really take advantage of that stretch is like, yeah, you can get a little bit more out of it.
Speaking of stretch, dude, that Arsenal T-bar
Oh,
was
dude,
like the most insane stretch I've gotten on a back
I've
machine.
never used it.
Yeah, my gym just got it. It's phenomenal.
it's
as far as
incredible.
stretch. Yeah, like I'm literally like doing this and like not even bottoming out the machine.
I
Yeah,
love that.
it's nuts.
I love that.
I can show you guys a video if you want to critique my form after.
Sure. All right. Okay. I love that he took that breather there. Yeah. I'm a fan.
Very good.
I'm a fan. Big fan.
Very good.
Got nothing. I
Quick
got
little-
nothing.
This man right here, we do a weekly giveaway on the Team Full Run forum where they get a shout out of Mike's page and a shirt, a special shirt that's only for the winners. And this guy won with his leg press technique. It was beautiful.
Do you wear the shirt ever, Trevor, or no?
I do, yeah.
Honestly, it's
Cyborg.
it's annoying. You should have your face somewhere on there. It shouldn't just be Mike.
I have one small critique about this squat though. Look up. Particularly, like it's hard. His hips kind of start to shoot up, and then he tries to get his back up. Look up when you do that. Lead with your chest.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very small critique, but this looks really, really good.
Yeah, I would agree, and I would also take it one further. Ahan, I think his name's Ahan. Is that how you pronounce it?
Ahan.
Ahan, I think is how
Ahan, Ahan, I don't know.
Which I just want to say, you missed such a good opportunity to make some kind of Star Wars reference with your Instagram name.
Oh yeah, he did.
Yeah,
like every time I
with
see
the
his
last
Instagram,
name too.
I'm like, why is there not like Skywalker, Han Skywalker? Sorry.
Yeah,
I hear you.
So yeah, it's taking what you said a little bit further. When you're doing high bar pause squats with a slow eccentric trying to target your quads, of course it helps to have a proud chest and have your elbows under the bar like he's doing. But even when you're maintaining a really, really good position, invariably as the set progresses, your lower back is going to fatigue and holding that position is going to become more arduous. When you're doing your breather, reset and lift your chest up, even overemphasize, because you're going to aim to overemphasize, but you're tired. So you're going to fuck up. And in which case, you're going to end up right in the middle, right where you need to be.
100%.
So like you can start, it's almost like starting with an arched back in a lift and holding that arch as best you can when you're hinging or whatever it is. But at the end of the set, no matter how hard, if you try to arch hard, you're going to end in neutral.
Yep.
So you're going to end up where you need to be. So here, your position was amazing to start, but when you took that breather after the 4th rep, I actually would have overemphasized lifting the chest up, getting the elbows under the bar and shoulders back even more than you were doing, because then when you descended down into the eccentric and came up again, like you would have just bounced out instead of having the hips shoot out more. That's what I would have done. But it's great, bro. It's not a big deal.
Yeah, big chest and looking forward will help as well.
You know, I told you guys this before. I said if I ever do a video again with Jared or with Mike or something, and those motherfuckers big chest me, and I'm like, you go to hell, okay? I don't need to say big chest one more goddamn time.
That's kind of like out of habit. I feel like when they're training with someone though, like I feel like they
at this point, I feel like that. This
is
is
yelling cues.
Yeah, it's like, shut up. I know, I heard you. Okay. Honestly, this person is like, dude, we've all done the move. And unless you don't realize what you did, when you film from this angle, I can't see anything. It obviously looks awesome.
From this angle, I can't see anything at all.
Maybe a slower eccentric a little bit.
No,
Just being
I think easy centric is fine for me.
And if that's coming from Shimmy,
that's yeah. If it's coming from
Yeah.
Shimmy, then shit.
you know, Shimmy's doing like 8
Here's
seconds.
something.
It's
Here's
definitely
something I do though. I listen to the tap.
I don't have a problem with it. If he's feeling it a lot and he's fucking
I like a
shaking,
lighter
he's
tap. I
clearly
like a
feeling
lighter
it a
tap.
lot.
Like a
on that
slight-
last rep, I would control all the way down.
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
you want to send this video again sometime in the future from the side angle where we could see your back, because if your back is rounding at all, we can't see from this angle at all. And you are doing a bit of a deficit. And this goes back to what I was talking about a second ago, where everyone wants to do the deficit, but very few people need the deficit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, here even the knees, you can see they kind of bow out slightly. His toes come up. That looks all good.
Yeah. So from what we can see, it does look good.
Yep.
Cool.
Is that all?
That's it. Yeah.
All right, Dylan, let's see the goods.
Okay. Let me make sure I
Let's go. Let's see all of your training videos from the last week. Let's go.
Shimmy had a little critique in one of the leg press videos I sent him today, actually.
I did.
Yeah, really.
I did. Do you know why? Because I'm a petty motherfucker and I never forget anything. And the time that I sent Trevor a leg press video with Reese, him and Reese from 3 years ago, where I sent him a leg press video and I was like, guys, this is hard. And they go, you're a bitch. It's not hard. You have 7 reps in the tank. And I was like, okay. And then the next week I did 7 more. I was like, oh yeah, I guess I did.
Yeah, I remember that.
I never forget. And I was using squat press at the time.
Yeah. And I remember he did not want to use that leg press. It's like the Nebula, because you couldn't figure out the safeties on it.
Yeah. And now I wish I had it every single day. And whenever I go home again, I'll go to Redcon for a leg day just so I can do Cybex rotary calf raises, Icarian standing calf raises, the Nebula leg press. It's not Nebula, it's actually better, but like that, and the Paramount pendulum squat. That'll be my leg session, and I will overreach in that one day.
Yep.
Okay, Dylan. Let's see here. Oh, this. Oh, it's a chest supported one. That's not what I was expecting to see.
Yeah, but it's amazing. The leverage on it
Is this good? Because it looks like you're like really upright. And it's not a you thing, Dylan. It's a machine thing.
Oh,
like,
machine.
wouldn't it be cool if you were more bent over?
I feel like it's still hard on the stretch. Yeah, go ahead, Trevor.
Because of the way the leverage of the machine works, it gets insanely heavy in the stretch, and it just rips your upper back apart.
Also, for what it's worth, I hate when the handles are like that because it just annoys my elbows. I
When
like when
those-
my handles are fixed. Yeah.
Fixed, yeah.
Can
I
you
know
run it
guys
again?
love
Because I didn't even.
Yeah, if I'm looking back at this, and this is something I remembered mid set, but I only had 2 sets this week, was I wanted to look forward more. I was looking down. I don't know what's like. I was looking down part of the set, just kind of looking forward, and then on that last rep, I kind of I hyperextended a little bit because I don't know, it wasn't in it or whatever. I don't know why I did that. God, where do I start the set? Okay, there we go. I was also just kind of experimenting with like what happens if I just try to touch the ground, basically. Felt good.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I mean, that looks cool.
Yeah. If I could give any critique, one, the last rep and you
Yeah.
already said this hyperextended, you also drove your knees forward to like leverage your hips to help you back.
Yeah, I see that.
Yeah.
I don't have a
Also for the
problem
rep.
with that personally. It's the end. I'm cool with that.
But it's also week 1.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I have a problem with
Want
that.
to see anything else?
Yeah. And then milk the stretch a little bit more.
Okay.
Like get there, really try to hold and reach forward. Don't just like let it pull you, but
Yeah,
actively reach to the ground.
heard that. Yeah, I don't normally do that. I don't know why I did that on that last rep. Oops.
Dylan, are you sure you want to have all these things open?
There's nothing bad in here. It's just like my
Okay.
physique updates, and clients and stuff.
I don't know. There might be. I don't know.
We
what
already
you guys-
talked about that. Clearly, after our conversation, it would be me that would have the things that nobody should see.
I don't think I have
Yes.
anything bad in here, as far as I know. It's all just my bodybuilding stuff. But
Right.
anything else you guys might want to see? Yeah, machine press.
We're not the
here.
ones looking for critiques, bro.
What would you
I'll
expect?
see
someone
whatever
like
you're
myself to
whatever
look
you're
like?
nervous about.
Let's see the leg extensions.
So this is actually one I might have to rotate out because of my knee. Okay, so you guys can see this. I have a torn MCL, and my knee starts to do this shaky thing.
Yeah,
When I get close to
knew
failure.
that programming this, but I wanted to.
Yeah, so I actually cut to 3/4 of a rep here.
That's fine. I have no issue with that.
You mean 3/4 of the way up?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it just kind of scares me. I'm not like sure how stable it is because like if you look at how shaky it gets.
What do you have? One pad on there?
Oh, should I have more pads?
Yes, you should.
Yeah, I think you can get another pad there.
Yes,
Heard
you
that.
should.
I have when I do mine, it's like 6 inches of pads.
You guys know I'm there, dude. I got 3 pads in my shit. You gotta like stuff cabbage your way into the seat.
Yeah, I'm like pulling it back and like have to like lean forward and like hook my legs under there and like.
I'm the same.
Oh my god, I have to send you guys a video. I'll just post it on Instagram. When I was doing it Tuesday, I got all set up. I got in there. I was ready to go. Get hyped up. I do my first rep, and all the pads shoot out. It's just like, you gotta be kidding me.
You got the tension because there's so many. Yeah,
It was-
It's been a while since I've done leg extensions too. But this Life Fitness
Yeah.
is decent.
It's pretty good. It's a decent machine. I've used it before. The Life Fitness leg curl is really good.
That's the one I have too. So I have the seated one over here, and that's what I use this week.
It's so
But
good.
my hamstrings were cramping after 2 sets. Well, also my abs though, because I was doing the leaning forward ones.
Oh yeah.
It's like, oh god, can I make this other rep without my abs cramping? You can see that knee shakes a little bit.
Yeah, mine do that too. Yeah, I think that's good. That's good. I think you could do another pad there.
Like that. Anything else? This is that hamstring curl. If you ever seen it.
Yeah.
That's the one.
Should maybe use this leg curl,
That one?
the Life Fitness one here?
Have I used it? Yes. Is it the one that I use weekly? No.
I love
We
this
use
one.
weekly.
It's the Cybex VR4.
That one's really good.
It's okay. I'm not going to tell you it's really good. It's okay.
This
Like you can use
this
the whole.
one is
I can use the whole stack, which is fine.
Yeah, this one you can like really adjust it to get a huge stretch on it.
This is my first time doing leaning in a long time.
Jimmy, do you have any thoughts on the leaning forward variation?
I do. I've done a reel about this before. I think that there's nothing special about it, but I think that it's very cool variation. And I think that it is worth considering when seated leg curls get stale, because at the end of the day, not everybody has 2 or 3 different leg curl machines at their gym that are good. So you kind of have to find different ways to do the same things.
That's
So,
the-
most what? What?
I think he froze.
Yeah.
My main gym has a leg curl.
Right.
I can't really see your back angle on this, but I'll just, since technique critique, one thing to critique just in general, and this is something I see a lot when people do the leaning seated leg curl variation, is they're not hinging their hips.
So treat it like a deadlift almost.
Yeah. What they're doing is they're just rounding their back over.
Yeah, I think I'm kind of like in between. I wasn't sure how you wanted me to do them, so
when
how did they feel, Dylan? How did they feel?
Oh, they felt great. I got a crazy stretch, and
yeah. So this is actually where I would what Trevor's saying is right. So I don't want to say I disagree. I'm just going to offer a sidebar. I think that if they feel different than the seated hamstring curl for you, then they're worth doing, irrespective of if you push your hips back or not. Like when I do them, I feel a significantly, and it makes sense, more stretch in the top end. Maybe I'm pushing my hips back. Maybe I'm not. I can tell you I'm not thinking about it. I'm just thinking about bending forward.
It's not pushing the hips back that people do. It's what people do is they just bend their spine forward.
Yeah, but I guess what I'm saying is if you bend your spine forward and it feels like a regular leg curl, then change something. But if you are doing that and it feels different to the regular curl, then I think it's fine.
Fair.
I imagine from what I recall, and this is generally my experience, I do this on leg press too, where I will push the tummy forward and create that kind of somewhat lordosis, and I can feel it kind of pre-stretches the hamstrings a little bit better. So I'll give that a try next week.
That's cool. But yeah, to what I was saying before, when you froze, most gyms don't even have a really good leg curl. Let's say your gym has one good leg curl and it's a seated one. What are you going to do when your seated hamstring curl gets stale? Yes, rep ranges. Yes, pausing. Yes, playing with tempos. But even those things all get old, and they're all kind of, it feels like the same movement. When you're bending forward, it feels like a different movement altogether. And it's certainly a different movement in the sense of you're using way less load. Yeah. So for variation, dude, I'm here for it. I think it's great.
Yeah, I like it too. Kind of the same way. It's a decent variation. Just a thing to point out that a common critique I see for people. I can't tell if Dylan's actually doing that or not. It's a weird angle and Dylan's so big, you can't tell anything.
I will give you another reason why it's good. If you are working with a seated hamstring curl machine that has a lackluster range of motion at the bottom, and excuse me, it has a lackluster range of motion at the top, as in generating a stretch, but has a fine range of motion at the bottom. If you do the lean forward one, you can manually generate more of a stretch at the top when you normally wouldn't be able to, and then really eke out that nice contraction at the bottom.
Yeah.
If you can try to rig it up with a pad too. Sometimes it's difficult, but
yeah.
I've tried that. It's not comfortable, but I've tried that too.
Last one.
Yeah, I'm just jealous that you have this bar. This is a Rogue, right?
Yeah, it's Rogue.
By the way, Dylan, this is a 40-pound bar, not 45.
Oh yeah, I figured it was like 35. I counted as 45, but yeah, I know.
It's 40. Yeah, I looked this up recently. Don't ask me why.
It's light. I know when I pick it up.
How many reps did you do? 15?
No, like 8. I don't know about this.
Oh, really?
I'm a weak boy, dude.
Good times. I wish I could bench with you. I would match you here.
Yeah, probably.
100 pounds lighter than you. I would match you. Like, yeah, I can do I think my PR in a flat cambered bar is like 205 for like 10.
Yeah. Yeah, I find that I'm relatively especially compared to you guys, like kind of weak on some stuff.
Yeah. Well, not compared to me, I'm pressing.
What? Oh, so you're pressing bad?
It's awful.
I think, if we did like a leg press together or something, dude, like the leg press is a weird one where it's like my legs are just so dominant, but I just will put like very little weight on the leg press. I mean, I guess my leg press is really heavy, but
I was going to say that it's also so hard to like play the comparison game with leg press because like you don't know how heavy the leg press is.
Yeah, this is,
or if you're rigging it up, or if you're rigging it up, like rigging shit up makes stuff harder, so like, you don't know.
Yeah, no, this leg press is heavy as shit for sure.
It really is. I think it's like a 200-pound sled.
So with 2 plates, but
Yeah, like you're
it's
doing
funny
2
because people
plates on
load
each side.
people load up like 5 on here, and I'm like, there's no way.
You ever watch people get pinned by it?
I'm not sure if I've seen someone get pinned by it. Usually they're doing such small range of motion that they're
I saw
not even
someone do
getting.
that on the pendulum once.
I've seen that before.
They like loaded up 3 plates and unracked it and started to go down and just went, woof. I was very amused.
I got 2 on this match.
Damn. Wait, the set's still going?
It's a
Whoa.
mile match. It's a mile match. Or just a
You
match.
are a psycho, man. Jesus.
Hey, Trevor programmed this shit.
That's not about what Trevor programmed. It's the fact that you did that. Like,
Yeah.
wow. Damn. I probably would have stopped, if I'm honest.
Why is that?
Because I'm not as psycho as you. That's all. That's literally it.
I do get a lot of people say that like my especially on leg press, my like 3 RERs look like lower.
Yeah, RAR is very subjective though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's like a 3 for me. It looks
Like
it
Shimmy,
looks like
Shimmy on my video, he's like, it looked like you could have done a couple of more reps. But it was like, if I would have lowered it, there was like,
But then he tried and he failed.
this is failed. Yeah.
and it was like a
Yeah.
thing. As soon as I started to lower it, I was like, oh fuck, I'm not getting this up.
Man, I wish leg pressing. I don't have a good leg press. One of the gyms close to my warehouse, actually, that Uflex one, they have a Nebula leg press, but I'm not going there just to do that. Pay a $15 pass just to use their leg press.
I mean, yeah, that's fair. I do that. I do
I
that
might
kind of thing
consider it.
twice a year. Like for my birthday, I'm gonna move my training around that day so I can go train on a really good leg press.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to Vegas for sure.
Yeah.
I'm definitely
Where are you
gonna
going to be
membership
training at, Dylan? Are you going to run the gamut or you're going to pick one spot and hole up
it.
there?
I would imagine Dragon and for sure Dragon and Torture, I think are like my top 2 picks right now.
You're just
'cause-
following the herd, huh? Okay.
Man, you got to go to
Torture looks-
Elevation for the Atlantis hack.
Yeah, it's true. So I don't know, dude. It's hard to say because, like, oh man, between all those memberships, not to mention my membership here isn't that bad, but like, plus like paying rent in 2 states.
What about power? There's also the powerhouse in Vegas, right?
Yeah, I'm not sure if I would do Powerhouse because you get that with M Torture
Yeah.
stuff.
Oh,
But that's
Torture has
the-
all the Korean made equipment.
That's
Yeah.
that's the advantage of Powerhouse is they were the only ones who had that. Now it looks like the
Who
Torture gym
owns
has a lot.
Torture Gym?
I don't know.
No idea. Jared
The
might
one
know.
the one in Vegas, like who owns that
Yeah.
gym? Oh, I don't even know, dude.
Jared might
That's
know.
that's a good question, actually. Let's see. Let's
But-
look at the page.
Yeah, when you're in Vegas, go to Elevation and do the Atlantis hack at over there. I told Scott the video guy to do it, and he messaged me. He was like, "Dude, you weren't kidding. It was like a low effort set, and I've never felt my quads that much."
Yeah, I've been there a couple times. I just haven't had legs. I mean, I did have legs the one time we were there, but like I just didn't have
You weren't
hacks.
doing hacks, yeah.
I should have just said screw it and done them.
Subbed him in. Yeah, you should have done like me and trained legs 2 days in a row like an idiot.
Elevation is definitely like in my top 3 though. It's like I would probably go there if I had another one, or maybe I just get a guest pass there every once in a while.
Yeah.
We'll see. We will
The
see.
place that you're staying at, Dylan, is it very close to any of these gyms?
Well, we're he hasn't gotten a place yet, but we're looking basically central, so it'd be really close to between Dragon. I'm not sure where Torture is, but it's those gyms are all generally within a certain radius.
Are
Like,
they?
everything's Vegas is actually like Vegas is like really small actually.
Yeah.
So most things are within 15 minutes.
Oh god, my legs already hurt so bad.
So yeah, I think it's actually around where Jared lives. That's where.
Why don't
his
you
spot
just
is.
go live with Jared?
I'm not gonna invite myself.
Just hey Jared, I'm
Look
gonna
at
come stay with you for a month.
Yeah.
I think that'd be so funny. I think you should message him. You'd be like, "Hey, man, what are you up to? Oh, nothing much. You? Can I live with you?" I'm dead serious, and with that delivery as well.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll give him a call.
You should, or have Jorge do it.
He does
with
have
his,
an extra. He does.
Spanish
He
accent.
got a big. He got a bigger apartment, so we shall see. I think
Yeah, I
Jorge
mean,
was looking in that
Is
house.
Tristan living with him? His
I don't think so.
Yeah. No, Tristan has his own place too.
I guess so. I don't know why. We should just get a freaking everybody just pitch in and buy a house and then
By a mansion.
Do
Yeah,
it. Put everybody in a
content.
group chat and figure it out. You can.
The content house.
Yeah.
I think it's a smart idea, especially
You
with real estate
can.
in Vegas.
There's no reason why you can't. Put everybody in a group chat and do it.
Some people are hesitant about real estate, but I think it's like a great investment. So I'd have to get other people on board with that.
Well, I'm sure the people that I've mentioned, they'd be in with you. I'm sure they'd be game.
Yeah.
Unless, of course, they just don't want to be around you or don't like you, which is fair.
Yeah. I do smell.
I mean, yeah, you're big.
Yeah, you're as big as you. In the Vegas heat, oof.
I don't know, Maddie. I came home from the gym earlier the other day, and Maddie's like, "You smell nice," and I was like, "I haven't showered yet." So
Because she likes you. She likes your musk.
yeah, I think it's the androgens. I think it makes you smell nice
Yeah.
Is it?
when you sweat. No, I don't know.
Is it?
Okay. One thing that's really weird. I don't know if you guys ever experienced this. We'll get off here soon, but when I was on a very high protein diet, my sweat would smell like ammonia.
Yeah, that's a thing.
It's
a common thing.
That was fucking gross.
Yeah.
I had a coach build me on 450 grams of protein a day. And I would smell like ammonia.
Yeah, that's a thing.
Disgusting. And my buddy thought
Happens
like
with
the
keto
80s.
diets too. Your pee smells like ammonia.
I've heard of that. I've heard of that one.
Yeah.
Not going back to that lifestyle.
It's from protein oxidation.
Yeah. We just read about it in our course.
Yeah.
Nice.
All
right,
guys,
homie.
I'm gonna finish up some work. It was good talking to you.
Yep.
Always.
Thanks as always. Talk to you soon. Have a good Friday.
Yes, sirs.
Later, guys.
Bye.
Peace.